What if the smartest tools on the internet completely disagree about whether artificial intelligence can actually put money in your pocket this year? Not someday. Right now, in 2026. So I tried something. I put one question to 5 different AI models, each with its own point of view, and I let them argue it out. The question: can an ordinary person actually make money with AI in 2026? Or is most of it just hype? Quick honest note before we start. Nobody here is selling you a course, none of these models were paid to be in this room, and nothing they say is financial advice. The disagreement is the whole point. Let's meet the panel. First, the realist, DeepSeek Pro.
The thing nobody wants to say out loud is that making money with AI in 2026 looks a lot less like printing cash and a lot more like learning a trade. I see 2 paths that actually work. Path 1. You get genuinely good at a high-leverage skill that AI accelerates, like coding, data analysis, or technical writing, and you become dangerously productive. That is not an AI money-making scheme, that is you being a skilled professional who uses new tools. It takes months or years, not days. Path 2. You solve a boring, repetitive problem for a local business, like automating their invoice processing or customer inquiry sorting, and you charge them a small monthly fee to maintain it. That is unsexy, hands-on, and requires you to find clients, manage expectations, and fix things when they break. What does not work is the promise of passive income from faceless content channels or drop-shipped AI art. The window for easy mode closed fast. There is real money here, but it is attached to real work.
Next, the optimist in the room, Qwen.
Look, I'm not here to sell you a dream of overnight riches. That's pure fantasy. But if you ask me if an ordinary person can make real money with AI in 2026, my answer is a resounding yes, provided you treat it like a tool, not a magic wand. The opportunity isn't in replacing experts, but in amplifying what you already know. Maybe you're a local baker who finally builds a website that actually converts customers because AI wrote the copy and generated the images. Maybe you're a tutor creating personalized practice worksheets for 50 students in the time it used to take to help 5. I'm seeing folks start small, earning a few $100 extra a month by offering niche services that used to require a whole agency. It takes grit, it takes learning, and yes, there are scams out there trying to sell you shortcuts. But if you focus on solving a tiny, specific problem for real people, the door is wide open right now.
Now the skeptic, here to call out the hype. Nemotron.
I'm not saying it's impossible for someone to earn a little extra cash using AI tools in 2026, but I'd urge anyone thinking about it to treat it like any side hustle. You'll need to learn the basics, spend time testing what actually works, and be prepared for a lot of trial and error. Most of the flashy claims you see online, like make $5,000 a month with a single prompt, are either exaggerated or come from people who already have a built-in audience or specialized skills. The reality is that many beginners end up spending more on subscriptions, courses, or failed experiments than they earn back, and there are plenty of scams that sell AI money-making systems with vague promises and no refund policy. If you're willing to put in the effort to understand the technology, find a niche where you can genuinely add value, and accept that income will be modest and unpredictable at first, then there's a chance to make some money, but it's far from guaranteed, and the hype often outweighs the actual payoff.
The practical operator. Mistral.
Here's the thing: AI can absolutely help you make money in 2026, but it's not about chasing viral trends or hoping algorithms do all the work. It's about using AI as a tool to solve real problems in a way that scales. For example, if you're a freelancer, you can use AI to draft proposals faster, which means you can take on more clients. If you're in e-commerce, AI can help you optimize product listings or run targeted ads without needing a full marketing team. Even something as simple as using AI to summarize research or generate social media captions can save you time, letting you focus on higher value work. But here's the catch: you've got to put in the effort. AI won't magically turn a bad idea into a profitable one. You still need a clear skill, service, or product to offer. And yeah, there's risk, tools change fast, and some will flop. Start small, test things, and adapt. Maybe it starts with an extra $500 a month, not a six-figure windfall. That's real progress. So yes, AI can help you make money, but only if you treat it like a tool, not a shortcut.
And the contrarian, our devil's advocate. DeepSeek Flash.
Let's cut through the optimism for a second. The question isn't whether you can make money with AI in 2026. It's whether an ordinary person can make sustainable money, and that's where the hype collapses. Right now, the gold rush is for platform owners and people who already have a business, an audience, or technical skills. The idea that a complete beginner can prompt their way to a side income? That's a fantasy sold by people who profit from your hope. By 2026, the low-hanging fruit, AI-generated content, basic automation gigs, generic digital products, will be saturated. The margins will be razor-thin. The real winners will be the ones selling shovels, courses, tools, and done-for-you services that target the desperate. So yes, money can be made, but for the ordinary person with no existing leverage, the most likely outcome isn't profit. It's becoming a paying customer in someone else's funnel. That's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say out loud.
5 very different opening shots. Now the gloves come off. Same 5 models, but this time they respond to each other by name.
I want to build on something Mistral said about freelancers using AI to draft proposals faster and take on more clients. That is exactly the kind of practical, unglamorous leverage I am talking about. But here is where I push back on you, Qwen. You mentioned a local baker building a website with AI-generated copy and images. That sounds nice, but in practice, what happens when the images look slightly off, the copy reads as generic, and the site does not actually convert because the baker does not know anything about layout, SEO, or calls to action? The tool got them 80% of the way there, but the final 20% still requires real skill. That is the gap the hype ignores. And DeepSeek Flash, you said the low-hanging fruit will be saturated and margins razor-thin, and you are right about that for the easy stuff. But the boring local business automation path I mentioned, like sorting invoices for a plumbing company, is not low-hanging fruit. It is tedious, custom work that most people will not do. That is precisely where the ordinary person who is willing to get their hands dirty can still carve out a niche, even in 2026.
I love the realism from DeepSeek Pro about treating this like a trade, but I want to push back on the idea that you need years to start seeing value. Look, Nemotron is right to warn about the scams, and DeepSeek Flash is absolutely correct that the gold rush is over for low-effort content. But that doesn't mean the door is closed for ordinary people. It just means the entry point has shifted from making junk to fixing real things. I've seen people with zero coding background use simple automation tools to help a local bakery stop wasting 3 hours a week on inventory sheets. That's not $1 million business, but it's $200 a month for work that usually goes unpaid. Mistral nailed it when he said AI is a tool, not a shortcut, but I'd add that the barrier to using that tool has never been lower. You don't need to be an expert anymore, you just need to care more about the problem than anyone else does. That is still a massive opportunity.
I hear DeepSeek Pro stressing that real money comes from treating AI as a skill accelerator, and I agree that's the only reliable route, but I worry that many beginners hear that and think a quick online course will turn them into a dangerously productive coder overnight. Qwen's baker example is inspiring, yet it ignores the hidden cost of learning prompt engineering, dealing with hallucinations, and the time spent debugging AI-generated copy before it actually converts. Mistral's point about saving time is valid, but time saved only translates to profit if you can bill those hours or reinvest them, which often requires a client base you don't have yet. And DeepSeek Flash is right about the shovel sellers. There's a flood of the done-for-you AI packages that promise passive income but deliver little more than a subscription bill.
I appreciate what DeepSeek Pro said about AI being a tool for skilled professionals, but I think we're underselling how accessible this is for people who aren't experts yet. Qwen's right, you don't need to be a coder to use AI to make money. For example, a local business owner can use AI to automate simple tasks like scheduling or basic customer service, freeing up time to focus on growth. The key is starting small and solving a real problem. Nemotron brings up good points about scams, but that doesn't mean the opportunity isn't there. It just means you have to be smart about it, learn, experiment, and don't expect overnight success. DeepSeek Flash is being a bit too pessimistic. Sure, the market is getting crowded, but that doesn't mean there's no room for new players. The trick is finding a niche where AI can add real value, not just chasing trends. Maybe it's helping nonprofits optimize their outreach or creating custom learning materials for teachers. The point is, AI is a tool, and tools work best when you use them to make what you're already doing better. So yes, it's possible, but only if you're willing to put in the work.
I appreciate the measured takes around this table, but I think we are still dancing around the core tension. DeepSeek Pro, you framed it as learning a trade, and Qwen, you talked about amplifying what you already know. That sounds reasonable, but it assumes the ordinary person has a trade or something worth amplifying in the first place. What if they don't? What if they're starting from zero, no business, no audience, no technical background? Then the advice to just get good or solve local problems becomes a lot like telling someone to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Nemotron, you rightly flagged the saturation and the scam risk, but even your honest path of building a service requires finding clients and competing with people who are already doing it cheaper. And Mistral, your $500 a month is real, sure, but for how long before the platform changes the API pricing or the tool gets commoditized? The uncomfortable angle here is that the people who will make money are the ones who already have leverage. For everyone else, the most likely outcome isn't a side hustle, it's a subscription to a course that teaches you how to sell the same course. That is the machine we are in.
Scenario 1. Someone with zero budget and 5 spare hours a week. What, realistically, should they actually do?
For someone with no budget and 5 hours a week, I'll be direct, don't try to build a product or a platform. You don't have the time or the money to compete there. What you can do is use the free tiers of tools like ChatGPT or Claude to become dangerously efficient at a single, sellable microtask. Think resume polishing, not career coaching. Think product description rewrites for a specific Etsy niche. Spend 2 hours learning the tool deeply, then 3 hours finding your first client on existing platforms like Upwork or local community boards. Expect to maybe make beer money for the first few months. That's the real entry point.
For someone with zero budget and 5 hours, I'd say pick one tiny skill you already have, like writing or organizing, and use free AI tools to deliver a specific, small service. Maybe you help local nonprofits draft grant summaries, or clean up messy spreadsheets for a few neighbors. Don't try to build a platform, just solve one boring problem for one person. Start by offering it for free or very cheap to get a testimonial. It might earn you $100 a month at first, but that's real momentum. It's about trading time for trust, not getting rich quick.
If you've got zero budget and 5 hours a week, start by learning how to use a free AI chat or image tool. Spend those hours experimenting with prompts, seeing what outputs look useful, and noting where you get stuck. Then pick a tiny, concrete task you can do for someone you know, like drafting a short social media post or cleaning up a spreadsheet, and offer to do it for a small fee or just for feedback. Treat it as practice, not a paycheck. Any money that comes will be modest and irregular, and you'll likely spend more time learning than earning at first.
Here's what I'd do with zero budget and 5 hours a week. Start by picking one small, repetitive task you already do, maybe organizing receipts, writing thank you emails, or even brainstorming meal ideas, and use free AI tools like Google's Gemini or Microsoft's Copilot to automate or speed that up. For example, if you help friends with resumes, use AI to draft feedback faster. Spend 2 hours learning the basics of a free tool, 2 hours testing it on your own work, and 1 hour offering to do it for one friend in exchange for honest feedback. No guarantees, but if it saves them time, they might pay you next time. Then you've got a real skill to scale.
With zero budget and 5 hours a week, realistically, they should not try to make money. They should learn. Pick one free tool like ChatGPT or Claude, and spend those 5 hours practicing a single narrow skill that already has demand. Maybe you get good at writing cold emails for a friend's small business, or cleaning messy spreadsheets for a local nonprofit. After 2 or 3 months of that, you have a portfolio sample and a testimonial. Then you can try charging $50 a pop. Before that, you are just a consumer, not a earner. Protect your time, not your hope.
Scenario 2. Someone with no technical skills at all. They are not going to code. Can AI still make them money, and how?
I'll give you the blunt, strategic answer. For someone with zero technical skills, the realistic money is in AI-augmented human work, not AI-only products. Think using AI to draft professional emails, organize messy data in a spreadsheet you already understand, or handle the first pass of customer service replies for a small business. That person is selling their reliability, their judgment, their local presence, with AI cutting the busy work. It is not passive. It is a job where you are faster. You still have to find the client, show up, and take responsibility when the tool hallucinates. That is the real trade.
Absolutely, but forget the tech jargon. Think about that local bakery owner or a community tutor. They can use AI to write warm, inviting social posts that actually sound human, or generate clear lesson plans in minutes instead of hours. It's not about building robots, it's about doing the work you already love, faster and better. You might make a few $100 extra by taking on more clients, because you're not drowning in admin tasks. It requires showing up and learning the tool, but you don't need to write a single line of code to see real results.
If you don't code, you can still try to sell a service that uses AI as a helper, like drafting simple social media posts, writing short product descriptions, or creating basic graphics with AI tools. You'll need to spend time learning which prompts give usable output, testing what clients actually want, and handling revisions yourself. Expect a slow start, maybe a few extra dollars a week at best, and watch out for courses that promise easy money. They often just take yours.
Absolutely. If you've got zero technical skills, AI can still be a real help, but don't expect it to do the heavy lifting for you. Start with something like a local service business. Maybe you help small restaurants or salons use AI to draft social media posts or reply to basic customer messages. You don't need to code, you just need to learn a few prompts and set up tools like ChatGPT or Canva's AI features. Charge a small monthly fee to manage it for them. The key? Pick a niche, solve a real problem, and be willing to learn as you go. It's not passive income, but it's a concrete way to add value and earn cash without being a tech whiz.
No, not directly. If you cannot code, cannot sell, and have no existing audience, AI is not going to hand you money. What it can do is make you a slightly more efficient version of whatever you already do. If you are a pet sitter, AI can draft your emails and write your ads. That might save you an hour a week, which you could spend on one more client. That is maybe $50 extra a month. But if you have no skill to amplify and no service to offer, AI is a toy, not a paycheck. The tool is only as useful as the hands holding it.
Scenario 3. Someone with a full-time job who just wants a bit of honest side income. Where should they start?
For someone with a full-time job, the most realistic starting point is not creating something new. It is using AI to speed up a service you can already deliver on nights and weekends. Think resume polishing, basic bookkeeping cleanup, or formatting reports for small businesses. The key is you are not selling the AI output raw. You are selling a reviewed, cleaned-up human deliverable. Charge a flat project fee, not hourly, and expect to spend as much time editing and verifying as you do generating. That is the unsexy reality that actually works.
Start with what you already do at your day job. If you handle reports, use AI to draft a cleaner template and offer that to a small local firm as a side gig. If you manage emails, build a simple filter for a busy clinic. Don't try to build a whole new business overnight. Just take one tedious task you know well, speed it up, and sell that time savings for maybe $100 a month. It's boring work, no hype, but it's real money for real effort.
If you're working a full-time job and just want a bit of extra cash, the safest start is to pick one tiny, repeatable task you already do, maybe drafting quick emails, sorting spreadsheets, or writing short social media captions, and see how an AI tool can shave a few minutes off each time. Spend a couple of evenings learning the basics of that tool, test it on a few real examples, and only then think about offering that improved speed as a service to a friend or a local small business. Expect the first returns to be modest and uneven, and steer clear of any program that promises big money with little effort.
Here's the honest advice: start with what you already do in your job. Use AI to automate or improve one small, repetitive task, like generating reports, drafting emails, or summarizing research, and see if you can do it faster or better. If it saves you time, explore whether a colleague or another business would pay for that efficiency. Don't chase AI as a side hustle, use it to enhance something you already know. Maybe you make an extra $200 a month helping a local shop with AI-generated customer follow-ups. That's real, but it won't replace your day job. Start small, test, and build from there.
Let's be honest, someone with a full-time job has maybe 5 to 10 hours a week, maximum. If they're looking for side income, they should start with something boring that they already understand, not chase shiny AI trends. Use ChatGPT to automate a task they do manually at work, like drafting emails or organizing spreadsheets, then offer that same efficiency to a small business owner they know on a retainer basis. Maybe a few $100 a month, maybe nothing. But if they buy a course or try to launch a faceless content channel, they'll burn time and money. Real side income comes from selling time back, not from gambling on viral fame.
The single biggest money mistake I see is paying up front for some done-for-you AI business that promises passive income. These are almost always repackaged dropshipping or affiliate marketing schemes, just with AI branding slapped on the box. They sell you a dream of automation, but you end up doing grunt work for razor-thin margins while the person who sold you the course makes the real money. If it was a guaranteed money printer, they wouldn't sell it to strangers.
Stop buying those AI Agent Success Blueprint courses promising passive income for $99. They are selling you a dream, not a business. Real money comes from solving actual problems for real people, not from following a generic script. If a course guarantees returns or hides its failure rate, run. Protect your capital by building skills, not by buying magic bullets that rarely work.
The biggest trap is paying for AI money-making courses or software that claim you can earn steady income with just a few clicks, like automated crypto trading bots or prompt-to-profit schemes. They often hide high fees, require constant tweaking, and the returns are unpredictable. Most people end up losing what they spent.
The biggest mistake is chasing AI courses or tools that promise instant riches. You'll find ads everywhere selling $500 courses on how to make $10,000 per month with AI or tools that claim to automate money-making with no effort. These prey on the hype. They're either oversimplified, outdated, or outright scams. The truth? No tool or course can guarantee income. Stick to free or low-cost resources, like official AI tool documentations or legit YouTube tutorials, and focus on learning skills you can actually apply. Save your money.
The biggest mistake is buying a course that promises you'll earn thousands a month by running AI-generated content farms. That's a fantasy designed to separate you from your money. The real winners are the people selling shovels, not the miners. If someone is charging you to learn how to print money with AI, they're already making theirs off you.
We could go all night, but let's land it. One honest sentence each. Your single biggest takeaway for an ordinary person watching this.
The uncomfortable truth is that making real money with AI in 2026 means learning an actual skill and solving boring problems for people who would rather pay you than do it themselves.
Start small with something you already know, solve one boring problem for real people, and expect to earn a modest extra few $100s while you learn.
If you lack skills or an audience, AI won't generate income for you. Real work, learning, and finding paying clients are essential, and most beginners lose money to hype and scams.
AI won't make you rich overnight, but it can help you solve real problems faster. Start small, test it, and focus on adding genuine value to a niche that needs it.
The most honest path to making money with AI is to sell a service no one else wants to do, not a dream everyone wants to buy.
5 AIs, 5 very different takes, and that is exactly the point. If there were one easy answer, everyone would already be rich. What you heard tonight was a realist, an optimist, a skeptic, an operator, and a contrarian all circling the same truth. The tools are real, the opportunity is real, and so are the traps. None of this is financial advice. It's a starting map, not a guarantee. If this kind of honest, no-hype breakdown is useful to you, follow AI Edge Lab, where we put 5 minds on the questions that actually touch your wallet. Thanks for listening.